Seems like WWE is making Thursday their favorite day of the week. Now, me personally, I don't have a favorite day of the week, but if you throw in a happy hour, any day of the week is my favorite day of the week. Last Thursday, the company fired a handful of talents. This Thursday, they fired Mark Carrano over a trash bag incident that involved Mickie James. Why was Mark Carrano fired? How long has this practice been going on in WWE? And why did it take so long for somebody to call it out after 10 years? We are going to talk about that today right here on Off the Script. Also, possible locations for the biggest, lamest party of the summer. SummerSlam. Where is SummerSlam taking place this year? CM Punk says the WWE product is absolutely terrible. Triple H says that the AEW versus NXT war on Wednesday night was nothing more than imaginary. Sure thing, boss. Sure thing. And the real reason why Charlotte Flair was written off Monday Night Raw. All this plus so much more right here on episode 373 of Off the Script. But first, a word from today's sponsor. I want to give a big shout out to today's video sponsor, Tennis Clash, a free mobile PvP tennis sports game with super high-end graphics and a pure fun gameplay experience that combines live PvP games against real players with cool RPG elements that will get you hooked. It is free to play and available for Android and iOS. The game has become a massive worldwide hit with more than 60 million downloads worldwide. Check out the crazy high scores in the app stores, which is 4.7 and 4.2 out of 5 max. Play live 1v1 matches against real players in the world's most famous tennis arenas. And make sure you download it for free from the links in the description box down below. Or you guys can simply scan the QR code you're seeing right now to support my channel and get 200 gems and 500 gold to start the entire game with and start with a strong position. Now, what I love about this game is actually the depth of the characters and the fact that I can play with different characters if I want to focus on forehand, backhand, or agility. If this is not enough, you also have a cool battle pass that will help you get extra rewards for faster progression in the game. So download Tennis Clash today for free from the links in the description and get 200 gems and 500 gold for supporting my channel. Play Tennis Clash while you watch my video right now and tell me about the game in the comments below. I wish you guys luck, and I'll see you on the tennis court. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is episode 373 of today's podcast. It is April 24th, 2021. And man, oh man, not much going on in WWE as far as an in-ring product is concerned. WWE had their quarterly conference calls. I don't really care about how much money they make. All I know is they don't care to produce any good television because of the amount of money that they are making, even in the middle of a pandemic. There's nothing as far as storylines. There's nothing as far as who's going where and excitement regarding their next pay-per-view or something new as far as someone coming up from NXT. Nothing. There's generally no interest and anything WWE related. Monday Night Raw, for the most part, is the worst show on television. SmackDown isn't all that better. Without Roman Reigns, it would be just as bad as Monday Night Raw. Don't lie to me. You know that's the fact as well. NXT is pretty much boring. I don't want to say dead. There's a lot of talent on that show that I actually like, but the show is awfully boring. I was going to say god-awful, man. I was in my Monday Night Raw phase. It's not god-awful. It's a watchable show, but it is awfully boring. Very, very boring, man. I don't remember NXT being that boring. And I'm just basing it off of everything we've seen up until this point, moving to USA Network. Tuesday's show was just a bore fest, man. It really was. I'm already contemplating not even doing the NXT live streams. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares. The biggest thing in WWE, the reason why I say this to start today's show off, the biggest thing that's going on right now is WWE firing Mark Carrano, who more than likely was a fall guy. He was a fall man, someone who was fired because of somebody else's doing. I don't want to name any names. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But Mark Corrano was fired. If you guys don't know that name, he is a behind-the-scenes character. If you guys are familiar with that name, you would have seen him on Total Bellas and Total Divas. He's usually the type of guy running around backstage and doing all the talent relation stuff. Mickie James got her gear sent back in a black trash bag. I don't know why this was done. Apparently this has been done for 10 years now, plus Mark Carrano's been there for a very long time. I don't see the reason to do something that disrespectful. I don't know why you would be disrespecting any of the talents that were released or any of the talents that are currently still employed with the company. I don't get it. I don't get it. The one thing that I think we can all really sit down and agree with is that WWE is a business. We all know that it is a business. The people that run the company, they treat it as a business. They don't care about any other aspect of any part of that company except for how much money that they are making. They don't care about the ratings. They don't care about the TV product. They don't care about who's buried. They don't care about who the fans are crying about, wanting to see on TV. They don't care. They don't care. This is just another reason why WWE is a business and not family. It is not a family. And that is a shitty feeling. I can only imagine what those people are thinking and feeling right now that are still employed. It is not a family. They could not give a single shit about you at all. And this trash bag incident is right up front and center. Everything about that statement. You are not a family. Whether you're there or we released you. No matter how many years of service that you've given us, you are gone. This is what we think of you. Goodbye. You are not a family. They only call upon you when they want to use the name value that you've accumulated with them, and when they don't find any use for you, goodbye. It sucks, man. It really, really does suck. We're going to go over that today on the podcast, as that is the biggest story. I found this to be quite hilarious and very truthful, to be frank with you guys. CM Punk says WWE television is awful. Yes, Mr. Phil Brooks, thank you for telling us something that we've already known for decades now. It's more awful now than it's ever been. It's unreal how bad it is, man. CM Punk spent most of his days telling fans that he's not returning to the WWE. Everybody still talks about him to this very day. I even mention him every now and then. I do think that he's in Tony Khan's back pocket for when Tony Khan wants to pop somebody, specifically in Chicago. I do think in my gut that we're going to be getting Omega versus Punk at some point. I do. Whether Omega's the world champion or not, I do think that Punk is in Tony Khan's back pocket. That's just me having an intuition. I don't know anything. That's just me and what my gut feeling is telling me. He spoke to Justin Barrasso, did CM Punk. And Punk came down hard on WWE's current product, as we usually do here on the show, and said if he returned, it would just be him going to do bad TV, and he doesn't want to do that. He says, and I quote, "I've said no before in interviews. I'm not fishing for a deal. I get offered to do a lot of stuff, and I say no to 90% of it just because my thing is I need to work with quality human beings. It just seems like maybe in pro wrestling there is a lack of quality human beings. And the reason why I'm reading this to you is because it kind of goes with everything that we're going to be talking about with the Mickie James and Mark Carrano situation. He says, I don't know. I like doing fun quality projects. If there's a fun quality wrestling project that gets sent my way, I will surely listen to it. I don't need the money. I do not need the money, he says. And the way the wrestling business is now, it's wacky. You've got WWE, who has multi-billion-dollar television deals, and the television is awful. I go back there, I'm just another guy, and it's not even that. I'd be just another guy that's doing not good television. I want to do stuff that's good. I want my name attached to quality projects where it's fun and it makes people laugh, smile, think, and people don't hate watching it. I want to do fun stuff. End quote. Is CM Punk right, or is CM Punk right, ladies and gentlemen? That is the premise of today's show. Thank you so very much for joining me here on the podcast. Again, please follow me on Twitter, guys, at JD from NY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already. Hit that bell, turn that bell on for all notifications so you guys are notified when I go live or when I upload the podcast every single week. We are here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Live streams galore, man. And everything also gets uploaded to Spotify, iTunes, and Podbean. So make sure you guys also go to those platforms, leave a nice little comment, and even leave a nice little rating. Helps out tremendously. But I am here 5 days a week, guys. The work does not stop. In fact, the workload is getting bigger and bigger, and I'm incredibly grateful that everybody is with me here on this journey to get off the script bigger and better than ever. Make sure you guys also check out today's sponsor, Tennis Clash. Everything you need is linked down in the description at the very top, and it's also linked in the comments section, pinned at the top of the comments. Go check it out, man. They were incredibly gracious. They wanted me on board with their sponsor team, and they are now a part of the Off the Script family, so make sure you guys go and check them out. Also, today's show sponsored as well by one of my great sponsors, and that is Advanced GG. You guys are going to use advanced.gg, and you're going to use code SCRIPT at checkout to save 10% off. The absolute best in gaming supplements, man. It's not even for gaming. I use it for pretty much everything podcast gaming related, but if you guys go to the gym, if you guys want to get some extra studying in, if you guys want to go to work and feel that little extra pep in your step, Advanced GG, man, I'm telling you right now, it works. Clinically proven, made by scientists. It's all natural form of caffeine from green tea extract. It is fucking great, man. Really, it is. I appreciate them very much. Go to advanced.gg. Use code SCRIPT at checkout for 10% off. Go check out all the other live streams, like I said, on the channel. Everything you need is linked in the description of this very video today. And if you guys want your t-shirts, Bonfire is the exclusive home of Off the Script. That's bonfire.com/Off the Script. Go check that out. It is a great place for your merchandise needs if you want to support the show that way. Let's start off with this one, man. WrestleMania. We got fans at WrestleMania. That is now in the rearview mirror, WrestleMania. Now we're looking forward to the next big show, which is SummerSlam, or what I usually call Summer Scam. The biggest party of the summer usually is the lamest party of the summer, and what you are watching on current WWE television leading into SummerSlam is all just bullshit. It is not even SummerSlam. Nothing about it represents the essence of SummerSlam. It is a summer scam, is what I say. WWE is now looking forward to SummerSlam as its next big pay-per-view event, and rightfully so, as it is considered amongst many their second biggest pay-per-view of the year. That is alongside, obviously, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, and Survivor Series. One could make an argument that the Royal Rumble is their second biggest show of the year outside of WrestleMania. Some people say SummerSlam. I would not fault you in saying either one of them. It is definitely up in the air. It was reported last week that WWE is expecting to have fans in attendance at SummerSlam, which has been the belief amongst fans considering the event takes place in August. The hope is the majority of the country will be vaccinated by then. PW Insider reports that there has been talk within WWE about possibly holding the show in either Phoenix or somewhere in Texas. The company has not made a final decision on location just yet. but they would like to have the show at an outdoor stadium. That is the going rumor. WWE plans to air their weekly television shows and their next few pay-per-view events from the Yuengling Center in Tampa, Florida. That is the University of South Florida. The company had planned to hold SummerSlam last year at the TD Garden in Boston, but that was nixed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I mentioned this, I believe it was maybe on Raw, on the Raw live stream, or it was on last weekend's Off the Script. I think WWE having SummerSlam in Florida, I don't know how many people are going to want to be outdoors in Florida in August to watch a pro wrestling show. That sounds like something I don't want to do. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are in that same boat. Now, I don't know how hot it is in Phoenix. The heat index is different from Florida, and Phoenix is what I'm told. I don't know. All I know is Florida heat. I've never been to Phoenix, Arizona, though I should. There are a couple of places that I would like to go to because Guy Fieri was there. Triple D, man. You learn a lot by watching Triple D, believe me. Phoenix sounds great. Phoenix sounds great. Maybe WWE can have it. I was going to say Fenway Park, but August, the MLB season will still be ongoing. And it would probably have to be where the Red Sox are out of town for like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. But that's even pushing it. You know, Fenway Park sounds like a really great idea. If WWE wants to do it at Citi Field, maybe. That's also a great idea. Why not come back up here for SummerSlam? Why not come back to New York for SummerSlam? Remember, SummerSlam was in the Barclays Center for 4 or 5 years in a row. WWE wants to do an outdoor venue. Citi Field is the same thing. It all is going to have to depend on the Mets schedule or Boston with the Red Sox schedule. That's also a possibility. You know, I don't know where WWE wants to do it in Phoenix, in Texas. I don't know. I don't know how many people they're expecting. I don't know how many people they want to attend this show. But all I know is that the next big show is going to be SummerSlam with fans physically in attendance. And I think after SummerSlam, we're going to get fans regularly at these WWE shows. Because if you guys were paying attention to the dirt sheets this week, AEW, Jim Ross even confirmed it, AEW is going to be touring extensively starting in June or July. So come the summertime, AEW is moving out of Daly's place. That's great. That show desperately needs to get out of Daly's place. I can't stand looking at that goddamn place anymore on Wednesday night. So it's going to be great. I don't know whether they're going to be inside at smaller venues. I don't know if they're going to be doing a tour of Florida with outside venues every week. I have no idea what they're doing. Jim Ross said extensively touring. So I don't know what that means. Hopefully they just move and start getting business back to normal and getting the show on the road. But SummerSlam, fans, that's the next time you can expect fans inside a WWE pay-per-view. Very much looking forward to that, as they did add a lot to WrestleMania. It felt like WrestleMania, so I'm looking forward to it feeling like SummerSlam. The WWE releases, we talked about that on last weekend's show. I thought we did a fantastic job breaking everything down, really sticking up for those that should not have been fired, going over why WWE releasing everybody is deemed as a creative failure, because that's exactly what it is. Yes, they do have a lot of talent on that roster, but it is a creative failure. It is absolutely a creative failure. Now, there is a small piece of information in regards to those releases. Another reason for the set of releases last Thursday, speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, and the reason why I'm mentioning this is because we're going to go right into the Mickie James situation. She was one of the names that was released last Thursday. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer explained that a couple of names released had complained about their booking, which would likely have contributed them to being let go. Meltzer said this, and I quote, "There were a couple of people that got cut because of," how do I say it? I heard this about 2 different times from 2 different people, just about. One person was pouting that they weren't put on WrestleMania. I have a good idea who that is, by the way. That did not help their cause. Another person had kind of complained about their booking. When you're marginal talent that's not being used and then you complain about it, it's not like you're a top guy or anything. And that didn't help their cause either. So that was definitely some of it. Now, of the 10 names, that's a lot of people. of the 10 names that were released, Billie Kay was the only one that was put on the WrestleMania card. Samoa Joe did commentary. The other 8 names, gone completely. Not much of a factor in any WWE creative aspect on Raw or SmackDown. Mickie James, Mojo Rawley, Peyton Royce, Tucker Knight, Steve Cutler, Kalisto, Chelsea Green, and Bo Dallas. Now, if you go back and listen to what Meltzer said, one person was pouting that they weren't on WrestleMania. I could absolutely see that being Peyton Royce because Billie Kay was booked on WrestleMania to tag with Carmella in that god-awful women's tag team turmoil match. If you guys watched my SmackDown podcast live stream last night, you would have known why that match was actually put on the show. So, yeah, never again. I don't think WWE is going to listen to that person ever again about putting extra women or more women's matches on the show. Give me a break. Give me a break. That was absolutely as far away from WrestleMania quality as you could possibly get. Peyton Royce, I could see the one complaining and pouting that they weren't on the WrestleMania card. They had her cut that promo on Raw Talk. They had her go against Asuka the very next week on Monday Night Raw. Billie Kay, her former tag team partner, seemingly just fine without Peyton Royce. They broke the Iconics up to put Billie Kay into another tag team that's not Peyton Royce. Then why did you break up the Iconics? I do agree with the Iconics fans and the stands and the geeks and the marks on that situation because they did the same thing to Tucker Knight. Why would you take Otis away from Tucker, which was a perfectly good tag team, to put Otis in another tag team that's not quite Heavy Machinery with Chad Gable? I don't get it. So I can absolutely see the one being pouty being Peyton Royce. Now, there was another talent, a marginal talent, that Meltzer said, that was also complaining about not being used. I mean, Mojo Rawley, when was the last time we seen Mojo on television? Tucker? When was the last time we seen Tucker in anything regarding any storyline? They pulled him away from Otis, broke him up from Heavy Machinery, and then pretty much buried him on Monday Night Raw. Steve Cutler, he wasn't doing anything from Wesley Blake. Well, who got cut first? Cutler got cut first and then Blake. So I'm sorry. Either way, they both released. They were both released. So Wesley Blake was not doing anything because they let Cutler go because of a COVID-19 incident where he attended a party on New Year's Day. So Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake, they weren't really doing much of anything. Yet Jackson Riker is still on television. Chelsea Green, I could see Chelsea Green complaining. I don't know if it was her or not, but she was cleared. She was cleared. And Chelsea Green and Mickie James were actually teasing a possible storyline that included both of them when Chelsea Green got back to TV. So maybe it was her. Hey, listen, what are we doing? I'm cleared. We got this storyline. You got me promoting it on social media. When are we going to get the ball rolling here? Then we got Kalisto. Apparently Kalisto wanted to break away from the Lucha House Party, and WWE said no. WWE said no to Kalisto wanting to break away from the Lucha House Party. So Lince Dorado and Gran Metalik, they were still a tag team. They were still going by the Lucha House Party. They ended up breaking Kalisto away, not because they wanted to push him, because they were tired of hearing him complain. And then they just released him. So I could absolutely see it being him as well. You know? Bo Dallas? When has Bo Dallas been on television? In the last 2 years. I can't even remember. So Kalisto, Chelsea Green, Peyton Royce, Mickie James, those are people that I could see complaining. The others, I mean, I guess they've already accepted their fate before then. There's no reason for them to complain when they weren't really in anything leading up to WrestleMania all year. Mickie James wanted to do more. She was handcuffed. She spoke about not being able to do anything in WWE. They won't even sell her merchandise. It was bad. It was absolutely bad. So that is another reason why WWE let some of these people go. Some of them were budget cuts. Some of them were, I guess, WWE also including them in budget cuts, but they kind of added their little cherry on top of their shit sundae because they complained. So that is that. That's another reason why WWE recently released a set of 10 superstars last Thursday. Speaking of Chelsea Green, she was actually interviewed by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com, and she shared some interesting plans that the company had for her last year. This was before she got hurt. It turns out that WWE Creative had plans to put Chelsea Green, Vanessa Bourne, and Santana Garrett, Vanessa Bourne and Santana Garrett, who apparently are now called up to the main roster. We haven't seen any sight of Santana Garrett or Vanessa Bourne. Vanessa Bourne was not really all that good, but Santana Garrett, she is very good. So WWE called them up from NXT. They haven't done much of anything. They're probably very upset because they see the growth in the women's division down in NXT and they're not actually a part of it. It's ridiculous. But all three of these women were supposed to be in a faction, and they were to portray a Pussycat Dolls meets Charlie's Angels group. Sounds like a decent idea to me, especially for someone like Vanessa Bourne and Santana Garrett. I thought that would, when I first read that, I thought to myself, man, that sounds like a decent idea. Why didn't they go and do this? Why was this idea nixed? The wrestlers did meet with writers about the idea, but it obviously got canceled. And who is the only one in WWE that could cancel ideas? It's either Bruce saying no, or Bruce taking the idea to Vince and Vince saying no. Only two people have the power to say no to anything here, folks. Bruce is a mini Vince McMahon. If you don't think he makes decisions on creative, what should be on television and not be on television, then you may be a delusional fuck. But Vince McMahon or somebody higher like a Bruce Pritchard nixed this idea, and it never ended up being a thing. Bourne had been called up to the main roster in early 2020 because Paul Heyman was going to put her on Raw, and he's seen big things in Vanessa Bourne, and he wanted to specifically work with her on Raw. She has not been used, while Garrett was called up in 2020 during the summer, and she's only appeared in the Royal Rumble. How long she lasted, that's anybody's guess. I would assume it's under 60 seconds. Green, for herself, she's been sidelined since last November as she suffered a wrist injury that resulted in her being off television and undergoing surgery. Green signed a new 3-year deal while out of action with the company, but the company decided to let her go, and now she has a non-compete clause which expires in July. She seems to be making moves. She's got new ring gear. She's got new theme music. She's got a new podcast out, I believe, with her fiancé, Matt Cardona. So I could see Chelsea Green going somewhere and being a great asset to any women's division. I would say, listen, boss man, Tony Khan, get on the phone and call Chelsea Green, man. She could add a lot to that women's division. Matt Cardona seems to be doing more with Impact. I could also see her go over there. I mean, they already got a decent women's division over there for themselves. So we'll see what happens with Chelsea Green. Either way, Chelsea Green is going to add a lot and be a great asset to anybody's women's division. Santana Garrett as well. I don't know why you employ these women and you don't do anything with them. Vanessa Bourne, it's not like she's unattractive. If you can't get mileage out of Vanessa Bourne, man, and I don't even know. The last time we seen her wrestle, I don't even know. She may be better now. She may be doing extensive training. We don't know anything about any of these women because they get hired and then they waste their careers sitting around for WWE to do something, and WWE does nothing. It sucks. It is very, very bad. Unreal. So WWE nixed plans for Chelsea Green. That sounds like it could get a lot of different people involved. I don't know why we didn't go and do it. But WWE, man, they are creatively bankrupt, is what I say. Speaking of the women, man, Mickie James. Mickie James, WWE legend, WWE Hall of Famer, still able to give you a damn good match if you just allow her to do so. Mickie James, somebody that a lot of women in this industry look up to and have looked up to. Probably one of the most respected wrestlers in the women's landscape. And WWE let her go. They let her go. I don't know why. They apparently had no plans for her. They brought her back to basically do nothing. Last time we saw her was on NXT commentary for TakeOver during the pre-shows for Stand and Deliver. But WWE management felt like Mickie James wasn't an asset to the company anymore and that their women's divisions were better off without her, which we all know is complete bullshit because their women's divisions, outside of the obvious names, is fucking terrible. They are awful. On Raw and on SmackDown, they are awful. The storylines are awful. The in-ring action is terrible. Unless you got a Bianca or a Sasha or an Asuka in the ring, The in-ring aspect is terrible. Terrible, up and down. Mickie James, she tweeted out a photo and also put this on Instagram in video form, a clip showing that she received her stuff, her ring gear, I'm assuming, that was left in the Thunderdome because they unceremoniously fired her. A photo and a clip that her gear was sent to her home in a black trash bag put into a cardboard box. Now, it was delivered inside a trash bag that was boxed up. The trash bag simply was a black trash bag with her name in some colored tape with the name Mickie on it. Now, this is a reminder, like I said, and I said this last week when I talked about the releases. The WWE is all business. They are a factory. They manufacture money, and that's all they care about. They want to line their pockets with money. This is as far away from being a family as humanly possible for any company. This is not a family. Even when you give most of your life to these people, they still treat you like you never even mattered. That sucks. That really fucking sucks, man. Triple H, seen this on Twitter. Stephanie McMahon, seen this on Twitter. He announced late last night that WWE has already fired somebody who was disrespectful to some of the recently released talent that the company let go. Triple H tweets this out, and I quote, "Upon learning of the disrespectful treatment some of our recently released talent received on behalf of the company, we took immediate action. The person responsible for this inconsiderate action has been fired and is no longer with WWE." End quote. Stephanie McMahon said the same thing. She went on to say that it was completely disrespectful. This is not what the image of the company is supposed to be, and yada, yada, yada. It's a bad image on them. It's a bad image on the company. Disrespectful. Blah, blah, blah. He did not name the person, did Triple H, but the tweet just comes a few hours after Mickie James noted on Twitter and Instagram that her stuff was sent in a black trash bag. Now, after all this went down, reportedly there was a big shakeup behind the scenes in WWE. PW Insider's reporting that Nicole Zeoli, who was the director of talent relations, is now gone from WWE. Zeoli has been with the company for over a decade and was moved into the director role in February of 2018. It was also reported that veteran John Cone is no longer working as the senior manager in the talent relations department, but he is still with the company as a referee. PW Insider reports that the changes happened within the last 24 hours. It does not appear that these changes are related to the trash bag incident with Mickie James. Now, Mark Carrano's name began popping up. WrestlingNews.co has confirmed that Mark Carrano was indeed fired by WWE. Wrestling Inc. was the first to actually confirm this. Meltzer first noted it on the Observer forums that a major name was fired after the trash bag incident with Mickie James. Two WWE sources confirmed to WrestlingNews.co that Corrano was the name that was let go because of this specific incident with Mickie James. Carrano's exit is directly because of the trash bag incident, but we were told here at WrestlingNews.co that his exit was not totally unexpected. One source noted to us that the feeling was that his days were numbered once people power, John Laurinaitis was brought back to work alongside Carrano as the heads of talent relations in that specific department. Carrano has previously been the person to call the talent to let them know that they were being released. So essentially, he was put into the bad guy role. Not talking about Rezo Ramon bad guy, but the bad guy role to let everybody know, hey, you're being fired. We wish you well in your future endeavors. Well, why? Budget cuts. Goodbye. He was that guy. That actually was Laurinaitis who called all these 10 recent talents that they were let go. So a lot of people are saying that Carrano's days were numbered because Johnny Laurinaitis, people power, was taking over and doing all of Carrano's duties anyway, even when Corrano was still employed with the company. So all of his roles have been passed on to people power. Carrano has been with the company for many, many years, so some fans don't really know who he is. I don't blame you, but if you do know and are familiar with that name, he has made several appearances on Total Divas and Total Bellas. Now, I want to say, Mark Carrano, obviously he was in charge of this incident, and he was the one that took the fall here for packing everybody's shit up, Mickie James in this instance specifically, in a trash bag, putting in a box, sending it to her house. Goodbye, we wish you well in your future endeavors. This is what we think of you, whatever. Normally, guys like this, if you don't think this is right, then I don't know if you really know the inner workings of a business or WWE. Mark Carrano, he's the type of guy that is told what to do, who to tell it to, and go and do it. Mark Carrano is a guy that does not think for himself. Mark Carrano's the type of guy that's got the earpiece in his ear and he's got the fucking walkie-talkie or he's got the cell phone and it's ringing all day long and he's taking calls and he's taking, objectives from people higher up than him. WWE did not fire Mark Carrano because Mark Carrano took it upon himself to go and do this with Mickie James. Put her shit in a trash bag, send it to her, goodbye. WWE fired Mark Carrano because they had no choice but to fire Mark Carrano because they're not going to fire anybody at the top because why would they? There's a reason why people like Mark Carrano have jobs because they don't do anything for the company but listen to those above them. No matter who this was, we don't know who it was. It could have been Bruce. It could have been Vince. Vince McMahon could have said, put Mickey's shit in a trash bag, send it to her. Who gives a shit? Bruce could have done it. Put Mickey's shit in a trash bag. Vince is not around. Vince has got other fucking things to do. Vince is going out making the money. Bruce is the one that's running the fucking circus there backstage. He's Vince McMahon 2.0. It could have been Bruce, but we all know he's not going to be fired, even though I was sitting in the fucking corner praying that it was Bruce Pritchard getting fired. Mark Carrano was fired because he was a fall guy. Anybody that thinks this guy was out there doing this on his own is a complete blithering idiot, man. He took orders from somebody else. He went and did it because that's what he was told to do, and he's only in the position. He was in the position for 10 years, 15, 20 years, because that's what he does. He had a bullet fucking X right there on his chest, a fucking bullet marker on his chest for when something like this happens, and he was let go. A one instance in which everything got blown out of proportion. Goodbye. Goodbye. You lasted all this time with us. Now it was made into a big deal. Goodbye. Now you're gone. It's exactly what happened. So Mark Carrano and guys like Mark Carrano exist in every fucking company you work for. There's always a fucking guy, man. There's always a guy. I'm watching The Walking Dead now. Negan. I'm going into season 8 all over again. I watched from season 1 all the way to season 8. I wanted to catch up on everything. I know it sucks. Who gives a shit about The Walking Dead? Negan has Dwight as his number 2, right? Negan's not going to take the fucking blame for anything. When Negan wants to blame somebody, that's why he's got a number 2. He's not going to take the blame for anything. He's going to have Dwight do all his dirty shit while Negan's taking this guy's wife and banging his wife. It's exactly what's going on. The governor had somebody. The governor had many people. Negan has many people. There's a hierarchy here. This happens in every fucking company. Every company. Vince has how many fucking yes men underneath him because we all know it's so easy to blame Vince McMahon. We all know Vince McMahon is to blame, but Vince McMahon's not getting fired. Bruce Pritchard's not getting fired. This is why Johnny Laurinaitis was brought back. This is why you got Michael Hayes and you got all these fucking people. Mark Carrano. Kevin Dunn. How many yes men does Vince McMahon fucking need when something goes wrong? He's going to fire each and every one of them when he sees fit. Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff is the greatest example I could use in recent WWE memory. Paul Heyman was hired as executive director because it was an excuse for the shareholders. Look, we're making changes. We got one of the greatest minds, one of the most brilliant minds in creative, working on Monday Night Raw. We brought back somebody that everybody loves. Everybody knows he was in the midst of the Monday Night Wars with Nitro and Raw. He almost put us out of business. He beat us 83 weeks in a row. He knows what he's doing on SmackDown. Eric Bischoff. We hired Eric Bischoff, right? Why were they hired? Why were they hired? When Vince McMahon saw that there was really no change in the ratings on Monday night because he got impatient, goodbye. Then he put somebody in there who's probably the worst choice ever in Bruce Pritchard. And he fired Paul Heyman because he needed to fire somebody when the ratings weren't going anywhere. Eric Bischoff was hired as soon as that episode of SmackDown debuted on Fox. What did they do, a 4? Then it went to a 2 and then a 1.8. Within 3 weeks of them being on Fox, Eric Bischoff got fired. Got fired. Why? Because things were going this way. Who's Bruce? Who's Vince gonna fire? Bruce? He's gonna fire himself? They put full guys in there. They put guys that they could fire because when they are knowingly blamed and they know they're public enemy number one, they're going to blame somebody else because somebody has to be fed to the shareholders. Look, we're making changes. Look, we're making changes. Look at us. It's the same shit in every company you work for. Mark Carrano was a fall guy. He didn't go out there and send this shit to Mickie James because he wanted to. He sent this shit to Mickie James because he was told to. So please, don't get this mixed up. Now, how long has this been a practice in WWE? I did some investigating on this shit. Maria Kanellis, she was let go by the company with her husband, Mike Kanellis. Maria Kanellis recently spoke up after this Mickie James incident and said the same thing happened to her last time she was released. When she was let go from the company, the same exact thing happened to her last year. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that this is a practice and has been going on for more than a decade in WWE. One former female star explained why their belongings are left on WWE property when they have to leave. There's simply so much stuff that it's easier to leave it at the venue sometimes. So people ask, why are you leaving your shit at the venue? And then the answer was given, it's just too much stuff. It's just easier to leave it at the venue sometimes. We have drawers that travel as well as bringing stuff from home to the shows. So we leave little things we may need from week to week. Our gear, our makeup, our shoes, we take our gear bag home. But a lot of people have heavy gear that is easier to just leave at the venue. Another talent informed the Observer newsletter and Dave Meltzer that talent who is let go, if anything of theirs is left behind at arenas, it's boxed up and sent to their homes. I don't think sending it in a garbage bag was to be mean. It was done in a way that was just like stuff in a bag, put it in a box, and get it back to them. End quote. That's giving WWE just a little bit of credit. Too much credit, in fact. WWE, everything that they do with a meaning behind it. They do with malicious intent. If they mean good, you know it. If they mean shit, they go out and they show you that they mean shit. You see it, you feel it, you know it. WWE, I don't want to say for sure, but Mickie James is one of those talents where I just think they had something against her for whatever reason. Now, I could be completely off. Nick Aldis and Bruce Pritchard got into a back and forth on social media. I believe it was like late last year. I don't know if that is a reason to hate on Mickie James, but we got Bruce Pritchard and Nick Aldis, her husband, going back and forth, and he said some snide remark to Bruce Pritchard or something along those lines. I don't recall what it was, but WWE tends to be very petty. They do it with Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. Why hasn't Black been on TV? Because of what his wife did. And if you think otherwise, give me a break. Give me a fucking break, man. And that's not the only thing or example in WWE. It's happened for years, decades. They will do something to somebody simply because they don't like them, or if they're employed there with their wife and they don't like their wife, and vice versa, they'll do something to bury one and push the other, or they'll bury both of them. This has been done over and over and over again. Mickie James, I just have a feeling there was just an agenda to not do anything with Mickie James. And the trash bag, this is the first time we're hearing of this. Why wasn't this brought up 10 years ago? Now, all of a sudden, it's brought. If this has been done for 10 years, you mean to tell me that nobody at that company that was employed by that company was pissed off enough to take a fucking picture of it and post it on social media? Post it on the internet? Look, I got fired. This is what the company thinks of me. Why did it take Mickie James all this time to do something about it that's been done for 10 years? I don't get it. I don't understand it. It makes it seem like it wasn't a thing and they just did it to Mickie James. That's why it blew up. That's why it blew up. Nobody knew this was a thing in WWE until Thursday. So why now? Why wasn't it done 10 years ago? So if you're first seeing this on Thursday, you're thinking, look at what they did to Mickie James. You're going to correlate WWE and Mickie James and the trash bag to what WWE really thinks about Mickie James. Here's your shit. You're trash. Get the fuck out. But I don't know why it took everybody this long to say something. You get one picture on Thursday and then a bunch of people come out saying, yeah, I got my shit sent to the trash bag as well. So why didn't you post a picture of your trash bag when they sent you the same thing? Makes it seem like it was nothing for 10 years and it just happened. Or maybe an agenda. Who knows what to think with these people, man? Carrano was immediately fired. This was disrespectful. It was interpreted as disrespectful at the end of the day. And this is a WWE practice that is now just openly out there on social media. But Mark Carrano's firing from WWE is not totally unexpected. Now, a WWE source had told WrestlingNews.co that there was a feeling from some of the company that Mr. Carrano's days were numbered once John Laurinaitis was brought back to work alongside Mark Carrano himself as the head of talent relations. A source within WWE told us at WrestlingNews.co, and I quote, Carrano gave them a reason to fire him because we all knew once Johnny Ace was brought back that Carrano would soon be out. He had a lot of enemies, and I was thinking he was going to be out way sooner anyway. I don't think anyone is too sad to see him go. People were seeing that Vince was getting tired of him. Just like I said, folks, maybe it was an inside thing to really get him out of there and really just push him out the door. They had him go and do this. He's not going to fight back against Vince McMahon. He's not going to give upper management lip about this. They told him to put the shit in a trash bag, send it to Mickie. They had a feeling it was going to blow up on social media. She's the type of person that would just oust him immediately on social media once getting this. And they use this as a way to let him go and just get him out of there. He's a fall guy, folks. He's a fall guy. I don't feel bad for fall guys. Fall guys don't usually think for themselves. Fall guys just run around with their dick in their hand, waiting to jerk off to anything that Bruce and Vince McMahon tell them. They have no mind of their own. They have no thought of their own. They have no creativity of their own. They're always the type of guy to do what they're told and tell others what others have told him. He is a rat. He runs around in circles all day long to appease those above him. I don't respect people like that. Those people are the worst kinds of people, man. He wasn't a part of the team. But you know what? He bent over and he took it up the ass because he needed the job. He needed the money. They were paying for his family's well-being. He was making money. He was making a good living. So he figured, you know what? I have no other skills in this fucking world. I'm just going to bend down and take Vince McMahon's dick right up the ass. For 15 years, I'll be a fucking yes man to Vince McMahon. I fucking can't stand that. I don't respect those types of people ever. Ever. And this is the mentality that the company has. Mark Carrano's mentality is the mentality of everybody else above him. This is what they do to everybody, whether you're released or whether you're still there employed. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't. I don't know on what planet and what human being would look at this and say, you know what? We're going to send this bitch's shit back in a trash bag and think that it's going to go off well. That they're going to get away scot-free with the interpretation there. Where's the respect? You don't use these fucking... First of all, you're wasting half of these people's fucking lives sitting around waiting for an opportunity from these people. You got Peyton Royce, and you got Mickie James, you got Tucker Knight, you got Kalisto, you got all these Ricochet is still there, Aleister Black is still there, right? Angel Garza, Andrade was let go, thankfully. Sitting around waiting for you, waiting for people that don't know their elbow from their asshole to come up with something for them to do. They're waiting, hoping. And the fate of their fucking careers are in the hands of these inept fucking idiots. I don't get it. This is the mentality that is up and down, running rampant in this company. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't. WWE should really, 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 really look themselves in the mirror here, man. How much do we have to see this company continue to sink further and further and further into the fucking doldrums of pro wrestling? This is why I'm so vocal on here. This is why I'm so vocal about better TV. Start treating wrestlers with respect. Start using the talent that you've been fucking blessed to have the money to go out there and sign. Stop signing talent that is just going to sit in the back and not do anything for you. I don't understand it. The lack of respect for the amount of people on this roster is sickening. Sickening. Whether this is a one-time deal or something that's been going on for 10 years, you should not treat anybody, male or female, on that roster like that. That is something. Now, Mickie James might not have known this was a thing for 10 years. She might not have known anybody that's ever received their shit in a trash bag. Maybe WWE's been doing this and has done this to people, and their self-esteem is so low that WWE pretty much ingrained it in them that they were trash, and they just willingly accepted it. But Mickie James knows, I am ready to go. Use me. I'm 41 years old. But you let me go. Here's your shit in a trash bag. That's what we think of you. Start treating the roster with respect. And who knows why they let Mickie James go? Could have been the reason I gave you about Nick Aldis. Could have been Nick Aldis and Bruce Pritchard. Bruce, listen, man, I could see Bruce being the type of guy that holds a grudge, man. I really could. Why else would you fire Mickie James? She's old? She's old? When has 41 years old ever been old? No, but you're all right with bringing Bill Goldberg back at 53 years old and having him beat somebody half his age in 2 minutes for a fucking world title. But you can't use Mickie James? Mickie James is too old at 41 years old, folks. But yeah, let's put Edge in the main event of WrestleMania at 51 years old. Let's bring back Bill Goldberg. Let's give Hulk Hogan, who's 67 years old, a spot at WrestleMania. More so than Bayley, and Ricochet, and Andrade, and Angel Garza, and Aleister Black, and everybody else in the fucking back that's fucking twiddling their thumbs. Let's put Ric Flair in major storylines with Randy Orton and Big Show last year. 71 years old, Ric Flair got more TV time than half of the fucking catering department. But Mickie James is old. Unreal. WWE is in the wrestling business. Yes, you're making more money than ever before. Yes, you don't really need the roster in your eyes. But man, oh man, these men and women are going out there every single week, breaking their fucking back, risking their lives. I would be very shocked if you could even have a Raw or a SmackDown without professional wrestlers. And you got some damn good ones on Monday and Friday night that are being absolutely buried by people that don't know what the fuck to do as far as creative writing is concerned. I don't get it. Without the wrestlers and without the respect shown to the wrestlers, A, you wouldn't have a fucking show, and B, if you're shown all this disrespect and continue to do so, there's not going to be anybody left, because when their contract's up, they're going to go somewhere where they're actually respected, where family is felt and you're accepted as part of a family and not just given a goddamn fucking number because this is a business. Sooner or later, that money's going to run out. Sooner or later, those big contracts, those TV contracts, those Saudi deals, that Peacock deal, all that money's going to run out. It's going to run out. How long do you think these people are going to be willing to throw this amount of money at you if the fucking roster isn't there, the names aren't there, and the shows continue to fucking suck? 4 years from now, it may be worse than what it is now. Sooner or later, all this shit. Oh, look, WWE's making all this money. I don't give a fuck. The television is the worst I've ever seen it. Sooner or later, all this is going to catch up to them. And then what are you going to do? What are you going to do then? Huh? All the TV deals and the Peacock deals and this and that, not going to be able to save you because there's not going to be anybody left because you treated them like shit. All right, guys, second half of the podcast coming on up. It is April 24th, 2021. Make sure you go check out today's sponsors. Number one, Tennis Clash. Link is down in the description and pinned in the comment section. You guys seen the advertisement, heard the advertisement in the beginning of the podcast. And also Advanced GG, man, clinically proven to work. The number one in gaming supplements. I take my Advanced GG every time I got to do my live streams, every time I got to do the podcast here, every single Saturday, man. Advanced GG is what gets me going. All natural, all organic, made by scientists, natural caffeine from green tea. It is awesome. Go and get it today, man. Advanced GG. Use code SCRIPT at checkout. That is advanced.gg. Go and support them. I love it. It works. And I know it would work for you guys as well. After the mark, Carrano, Mickie James rants. We got SmackDown, NXT, Monday Night Raw, and AEW to go over with all your appropriate news and rumors coming out of each show. Ladies and gentlemen, SmackDown's ratings, they took a little bit of a dip post-WrestleMania 37. The overnight ratings for SmackDown are 1.996. That was down from the previous week of 2.080 million viewers. That was actually the WrestleMania edition of SmackDown, which was not really WrestleMania. The guys on the show got fucked out of a WrestleMania. That's what that type of show was. So they took a little bit of a dip. There was no Daniel Bryan. There was no Edge. There was no Big E. Nobody on the show. It was a very, very boring and very plain show on Friday night. If you guys heard the rumors about Daniel Bryan possibly stepping away from the WWE, contemplating part-time schedule, felt like he wasn't all there at WrestleMania, how he didn't want to be a part of the WrestleMania main event as far as a creative aspect goes. There's even rumors that he wants to try and somehow maneuver a WWE contract where he wrestles for WWE but also wrestles for other companies. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Daniel Bryan's contract is up at the end of the summer. We may be seeing Daniel Bryan wrestle elsewhere on a part-time schedule because I honestly think Daniel Bryan has accumulated all that he can for himself inside WWE. Yes, the WWE gave him the groundwork and the foundation to come on back after 4 years, but I do think that they held him down for 4 years. I do think that he was ready to come back before those 4 years. That's just me, though. But Daniel Bryan may be tired of WWE. He may be bored. He may want to go out there and wrestle in Japan. He may want to go out there and wrestle in Ring of Honor. He may want to go wrestle in AEW. Imagine that. Imagine that. With Punk out there always talking and Samoa Joe going back to the Indies. There are a ton of names that Daniel Bryan wants to work with. Samoa Joe, Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, Adam Page, Cody Rhodes, everybody in New Japan that I didn't mention, right? Ishii, Evil. Who knows? Who knows? Okada. Can you imagine Okada and Daniel Bryan in the same ring at a Wrestle Kingdom? Holy shit, man. Daniel Bryan may be bored. I talked about that on the SmackDown live stream. Go and check that out. But that is the big news coming out of SmackDown. But as far as the ratings go, the show didn't really offer anything of interest. So why would the ratings be up? Why would the ratings reflect up after WrestleMania? Yeah, after WrestleMania, but everybody saw how bad Raw was, and they said, you know what, fuck SmackDown. If Raw is as bad right now after WrestleMania, imagine SmackDown. So the first hour pulled in a 2.001, and then the second hour did a 1.992. That is the culmination of the ratings. The show also pulled in a 0.50 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. That was number 2 for the night. That's down from a 0.55 in the 18 to 49 demographic that the show did last week. SmackDown looked like this. Rey Mysterio versus Otis. Rey Mysterio got a win over Otis. The Street Profits lost to the Dirty Dogs SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. So back to the end of the line for the Street Profits there with the Dirty Dogs. I'm still wondering what the SmackDown Tag Team division is looking at. With Rey Mysterio beating Otis, we could see Rey Mysterio and Dominic get their wins back over Otis and Gable, and maybe they challenge the Dirty Dogs and take the tag team championships from Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. We got Cesaro and Jey Uso. That ended in a disqualification of sorts because of Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins and Cesaro is still not done. So clearly Cesaro is aiming for Roman Reigns, but he's got to take care of Seth Rollins. Cesaro and Roman Reigns is the teased Universal Championship match moving forward. This is going to be very good as far as getting Cesaro to that next level, getting Roman Reigns another quality opponent that could really tease taking the title away from him, especially with the fans backing Cesaro all these years, and finally seeing him get what he rightfully deserves. It should be good, man, and they kicked it off the right way on SmackDown with Roman Reigns not even acknowledging Cesaro. Who's next? I've beaten everybody. Who's the next to step up? Cesaro certainly stepped up, and then Roman Reigns completely disrespected him and walked away without even saying a word to Cesaro. So they kicked off the right way. Natalya against Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler continues to get buried week after week after week. And then Bianca Belair, her championship celebration with the Street Profits. Very genuine, very organic, being that Montez Ford is married to Bianca Belair. And then Sasha Banks, watching this all unfold in the back, had nothing to say. So we may be getting Sasha Banks turning to the dark side to go against Bianca Belair. But she also now has Bayley to concentrate on because Bianca was challenged by Bayley. So now Sasha's got some competition for that SmackDown Women's Championship. Again, not much happened on SmackDown for me to report. If you guys want my complete thoughts on everything, breakdown and detail for detail, you guys can go check out the live stream from last Friday. WWE had NXT on Tuesday night. The ratings were in. They were actually up for Tuesday night, so they gained some viewers. 841,000 viewers on Tuesday night. That is up from 805,000 viewers the show did the previous week. In the 18 to 49 demo, the show did a 0.23. That was up from last week's 0.22. NXT was ranked number 27 for the night on cable in the top 150. NXT was a very dull show. Very, very dull show, man. I didn't enjoy the show as much as I would have liked. It was a fine wrestling show, but my God, man, there is legitimately no life to NXT. There's nothing to NXT. It really needs something to spark a fucking flame under its ass, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know where that's going to come from. But again, NXT has not been the same, even though they moved to Tuesday night away from Wednesday night. They had a main event of Kyle O'Reilly versus Cameron Grimes to the moon. You know, that was their main event on Tuesday night. That's not really a main event from a brand that is really prioritizing, hey, man, we're going to put the best product out there. Hey, man, we really care about the ratings. Now the ratings were up. So in their mind, they're thinking and looking at this show, hey, this was a good show. The ratings were up. I don't know. It was a very dull, bland, lifeless show, and that's what NXT has been for the majority of their time on USA Network. It's just dead. NXT is dead. If you don't think so, I don't know what the fuck you're watching, man. You may have mistakenly put on NXT from 2018, which I should do on Tuesday nights and go back and re-review all those shows. I'm already contemplating getting rid of the NXT reviews because nobody gives a fuck. I'll give it a couple more weeks, even though you guys do enjoy it. I'd like to enjoy my Tuesday night, but I didn't enjoy my Tuesday night here watching this. Dexter Lumis versus LA Knight. Dexter Lumis looking like a complete dummy, losing to LA Knight because of Indy Hartwell. Don't really care. I think Dexter Lumis and his character is taking a little bit of a hit, being humanized this way, but I'm going to see it through. Maybe Dexter Lumis in the end gets the girl and the title. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm glad that Dexter Lumis hasn't said anything. I'm glad he's still a mute. I'm glad that part of his gimmick is still intact. Listen, I am all for a male figure going after a female figure who he thinks is attractive, but I mean, when the guy was abducting women and abducting people and scaring people and just being really creepy, and now all of a sudden he's got a heart, I mean, I feel like it's too soon in that character's stage to really be branching off and doing these things. I mean, I feel like he hasn't even gotten started yet with the Dexter Lumis character, and here he is already being humanized. LA Knight, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with LA Knight. LA Knight is a perfect fit for Monday Night Raw. He may be the life that this show needs. I have no idea. It's not bad. He's growing on me. I like his charisma. We'll see what happens with LA Knight. Saray or Sarai, Stevie Ray, Stingray. I don't know. Overrated. We'll just go with overrated. She beat Zoe Stark in her debut match. Listen, folks, I'm not an idiot. I'm not a dummy. A lot of what I do is for reaction. A lot of what I say is the truth. But the way it comes off, I want your reaction. The fact of the matter is that I've triggered so many people over Stevie Ray's debut here on NXT. The Warrior of the Sun, just another Joshi. I get it. I'm going to let it develop. Io Shirai came in the same way. Asuka came in the same way. They developed their Americanized characters. I get it completely. I'm going to see it through. I just like getting a fucking reaction out of all you geeks on social media because you still take everything I say with the utmost importance, and that's what I'm looking for. That's what puts a smile on my face every single week, man. I love you. Even though you hate my fucking guts, man, I love you for it. Jesus Christ, man. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, man, in my own realm. But I get what they're doing with Sarai. She came in. Listen, you may like that Joshi style. You really may like that Joshi style. I don't. The one thing I do like about the Joshi style is that it's hard-hitting, it's intense, it's very impactful. That's the way a woman's wrestler should wrestle. I'm going to see it through. Maybe she becomes a little bit more Americanized, but, you know, I don't really agree with everybody that goes on to say, oh, she's going to be the next big thing. She may very well be the next big thing. She may not be the next big thing, but I don't really get how everybody can be excited about her coming on into NXT with the hope of NXT doing anything right nowadays, because NXT, for the most part, has adopted situations and mentality from Monday Night Raw. So I believe in them less than I did then when Io and Asuka were there. I don't really side with them, and I don't have faith in them. Everybody's so quick to judge the things that I say. There's a reason why I say and I do what I do here. I don't trust NXT. Yes, it may get to a point where she does become Americanized. Yes, it may be one night. Let her gimmick develop or let her character develop. Fine. But I don't trust NXT. And you can't fault me for that because the shows have widely been boring. The storylines have been non-existent. Nothing there is exciting at all. So I'm not putting much hope or stock into Sarai on NXT. And Io Shirai and Asuka are not Joshis anymore. Sarai's a Joshi. When she becomes Americanized, she's not a Joshi anymore. She's not a Japanese wrestler. She's a WWE superstar. Okay? There's a reason why I say and do what I do here, and that is legit fact. Simple. I thought what I seen was boring. I thought what I seen on SmackDown, or not SmackDown, God forbid, she's got a ceiling. I thought what I saw was overhyped, overrated. Really nothing special there. I haven't seen anything from her in one match. Debut match should be a good indication. First impression should be everything. I didn't see anything that really stood out amongst everything else that I saw. So why am I going to jump on the Joshi bandwagon with Sarai joining NXT? Yes, I'll give it time. And then we'll reassess maybe a month from now, 2 months from now, and talk about why I don't think she's going anywhere and why I just think she's just a generic or another generic Joshi. Give me a break. Breezango. Grizzled Young Veterans, one of the best tag teams in all of WWE. They may very well be the best tag team in all of WWE. They beat Breezango, so they're going after those tag team titles. Another match with MSK is on the horizon. Kushida defeated Oni Lorcan in an open challenge. Kushida making the Cruiserweight Championship a little bit more important week by week. I like it. Appreciate WWE also showing my Kushida tweet from the previous week when he took the title from Santos Escobar. I was shocked. I thought I was on a no-fly list on WWE.com or through WWE management, but apparently the king still reigns supreme, and my opinion is greater than all. Awesome. Awesome. They know who's right every time he tweets. Thank you to Bossman Trips, or maybe there was an intern that just got hired and did a very bad thing and included my tweet when they shouldn't have included my tweet. Who the fuck knows? But I was featured on NXT television via a tweet that they showed in a collage of Kushida tweets. There you go. Kyle O'Reilly versus To the Moon, Cameron Grimes. Very boring main event. Kyle O'Reilly, not really feeling this babyface Kyle O'Reilly, but I've seen worse. I think the Undisputed Era is going to be a bad thing now that they're broken up, or the Undisputed Era being broken up is going to be a bad thing. I don't even have faith in Adam Cole going anywhere, really. First of all, I'm done with an Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly feud, and I'm not really having any faith in WWE to push Adam Cole the way I expect them to push Adam Cole. He's a future WWE champion and a WrestleMania main eventer. And if you don't see that, well, several people should be fired from their current positions. And then Imperium, another great tag team, probably the second best tag team in all of WWE. Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel, they defeated Ever Rise. Normally, you would ever rise when something excites you. This show did not excite me, so we did not ever rise on Tuesday nights. Some NXT news. Allegedly, WWE made the move to Tuesday nights with NXT for a reason that is not the actual reason. Now, during WWE's investor call this week, which I don't really give a shit about how much money they made, the show sucks. I'm going to let everybody know that. Nick Khan, president of WWE, no relation to Tony Khan, stated that he believes that NBC will not sign a deal with the NHL. He also claimed that the move had nothing to do with the NHL move either. So we were told that NXT moved to Tuesday nights because of NBC Sports shutting down and NHL games moving to the USA Network. We're going to be the reason why NXT moved to Tuesday. So now he's saying Nick Khan Man is claiming that the move had nothing to do with the NHL move. So what Nick Khan is really saying is that we were getting our ass kicked on Wednesday nights by that other company, and I think it was best for business for us to move to Tuesday night. That's what he's pretty much saying. or something along the lines of, hey, USA offered us a spot on Tuesday. They were upset at us because we didn't deliver the ratings like we told them we would with NXT. They saw that we were getting our fucking asses handed to them, and they had an open spot for us on Tuesday, and they forced us to move to Tuesday because it was going to be best for business, but we're thick-headed, and we're a bunch of idiots, and we don't know any better. So we had to be forced to move, even though we didn't want to move, because we were getting our asses handed to them, and we still wanted to try and peck away at AEW, try and take their ratings away. It had everything to do with AEW and the ratings and them getting their ass handed to them. Don't believe a WWE suit and tie. NXT's on Tuesday nights. It's better for the show, not in terms of quality, but in terms of audience. Instead of doing 600 or 650,000, now they're nearing 850,000. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's a good thing for AEW, too. Might not be a good thing for WWE in their eyes, that AEW is doing 1.2 the first week, 1.1 the second week. So what? Worry about yourself and do what you got to do to get to 1.1 and 1.2. You should use them as motivation. Use them as influence. Because what they're doing clearly is working. What you're doing is not. But I'm not really surprised that's a WWE suit and tie lied to the shareholders now. Give me a break. Triple H, he says that the AEW versus NXT war was imaginary. It's kind of odd, Trips. Imaginary, you say. So everything that you did as far as counter programming was because everybody's so creative in NXT, right? The fact that you put a WWE Network show and featured Evolve in the same time slot on the same day as Fight for the Fallen was imaginary, right? A charity event you counter-programmed against. That was all imaginary, right? You move into Wednesday nights at 2 hours on USA Network. That was all imaginary, right? After AEW already had announced that TNT deal. That was all imaginary, right, Trips? Yeah. I think this fucking story should be imaginary. Fuck out of here with this shit, man. The AEW effect is real. It might be felt less now, but it is indeed real. While speaking with Shill Rosenberg, I shall not call him Peter because he sucks. Sheep Heat, his podcast. I mean, who listens to that shit? Do you listen? I hope to God that nobody here listens to Cheap Heat with Peter Rosenberg. Awful. So he was interviewed by the Shill Rosenberg. Triple H explained that NXT was moved to the USA Network to keep programming consistent. So Triple H says that NXT was moved to the USA Network to keep programming consistent. Consistent how? Consistently bad? Consistently bad. Consistently illogical? Because that's all I seen with your move to 2 hours on the USA Network. You started off like a fucking bunch of gangbusters. It looked great. It sounded great. It felt great. It felt like the NXT of old. Oh, man. Did NXT feel good? Then goodbye, man. Then goodbye, good night. NXT fell so hard, man. So hard. They adopted the more entertainment aspect of the sports entertainment aspect instead of the sports. Instead of the realism. Instead of the logical, creative booking. The week-to-week juggernaut creative that it once was. I didn't feel any of that. So it's been consistently boring. And consistently lifeless. Ever since Morrow left, it's gotten worse. Ever since they moved to USA Network and they went up against AEW competitively at the start of the year, last year, it got bad. It was just terrible. He then went on to speak about the supposed rivalry between All Elite Wrestling and NXT. He says, and I quote, "The promotional opportunity for us is much better on a Tuesday. And also then not having to have a narrative where it's just constantly about an imaginary war or this imaginary battle. People can say what they want, but the truth of the matter is you compete against everything." You compete against everything. It's great. Yeah, you compete against everything, but, I mean, clearly, it's done you good to go on Tuesday night instead of staying on Wednesday. I mean, I don't know how many people are watching the NBA. I think the NBA and the ratings for the NBA are at an all-time worst ever. Same thing with the MLB. I mean, yeah, you're competing against everything, but everything is down. Everything across the board is down. Nobody's watching anything. And they were watching less of you on Wednesday night. So, yeah, the opportunity for promotional material and promotional opportunity is there for you on a Tuesday night. Yeah, it may be so, but where is that promotional opportunity coming from? Is it coming from Raw? I don't hear anything on Monday Night Raw about NXT. If I do, I might have zoned out and fucking started daydreaming of something more positive because the show sucks. I don't hear anything on Friday. There's no promotional material on any of these shows about NXT because Vince refuses to promote NXT because NXT is not Raw and SmackDown. So the fact that he's saying that, he's already lying to everybody. Where is this promotional opportunity coming from? Coming out of Monday Night Raw. You moved to Tuesday night for one reason and one reason only, and that's not a lead-in from Raw on Monday. Nobody's watching Raw. Nobody. You moved to Tuesday because, again, like I said in the previous story, you guys were getting your asses handed to them. If you're creating a television product or content, and that is the world we live in, is content, not television, not internet, it's everything. You constantly compete for eyeballs and time against everything under the sun, including sleep and time to do other things and video games and TikTok and everything. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to blame the downfall of NXT ratings on some fucking geek playing Warzone. I'm going to blame the ratings decline on NXT and the quality of NXT on some fucking geek and his family making TikTok videos instead of watching NXT. How about Triple H? How about this one, man? How about the shows just fucking suck? How about that? What is with all the excuses? You're competing with everything under the sun. TikTok and video games and this and that and yada, 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 yada. How about the shows just fucking suck? Maybe they wouldn't be playing Warzone. Maybe they wouldn't be playing fucking Apex Legends. Maybe they wouldn't be playing GTA. Maybe they wouldn't be on Twitch streaming in front of 3 people if your shows were good. Why don't you start creating must-see television? And then people will watch and not want to do something else. I know it sounds like a foreign fucking plan or a foreign idea. The fuck do I know? People watch when it was on the WWE Network in the millions. Now people don't give a fuck and you're on USA Network, which more people have than the WWE Network, and the ratings are worse, and the interest in the show is worse. How about just book better television? Enough of the excuses, man. I'm tired of the fucking excuses. I really am. I am sick to my stomach over these fucking excuses. So having your own space where you don't have to then have an added imaginary battle stacked up against it, it's kind of nice. The bigger fact is having a lead-in from a Tuesday into a Wednesday when we first started NXT on a Wednesday for viewers of the network. The transition to the USA Network and wanting to keep that consistency for those that are watching on the network so they would know where to find it and not have confusion of SmackDown leaving Tuesdays and people joining in and finding something else. Time has gone by now, and that is a great opportunity for us to have that lead-in for Monday Night Raw, to get that promotional window for the Monday Night Raw to Tuesday, and to continue to deliver the product the way we need to. The war might be imaginary, or might have been imaginary for Triple H, but he's only making excuses. He's only making excuses for why the show has declined. And like I said, write better television. So what was WWE's mentality when NXT moved to Tuesday, did 800 or so thousand viewers, and then AEW had their largest viewership since their debut show without NXT on Wednesday, 1.2 million. So what was WWE's mentality? Well, Dave Meltzer talked about this, of course, and he heavily implied that AEW's big viewership number was a huge deal. He then spoke about WWE releases and reiterated how those releases came before the viewership numbers for an unopposed Dynamite. And he says this, and I quote, "They cut Samoa Joe on Thursday morning, not Thursday afternoon or Thursday night. Things changed greatly in that couple of hours. The mentality was very different Thursday morning over Thursday night, very different. So you know if he can get cleared, there's a lot of stuff he can do right now. It's a good period for him, and there are a lot of places that would want his services." End quote. So what Meltzer is saying is it would be maybe a possibility that WWE doesn't let somebody like a Samoa Joe go if they saw the AEW ratings first at a 1.2. They would keep him on the roster. They wouldn't let him go. But they released him earlier in the day on Thursday, and then the ratings came in on Thursday night that AEW did a 1.2. So WWE right now is worried because AEW is gaining steam. Everybody should have assumed that they were going to be aiming towards a million plus. And now if AEW goes out there and adds a Chelsea Green and a Mickie James and a Peyton Royce and a Billie Kay to their women's division, I don't see why Tony Khan would not want to add those viewers and the fan bases of those women. I mean, I personally would stay far away from Billie Kay, but bringing in Peyton Royce, her husband works for AEW, so maybe they want to be in the same locker room together once again. It's funny how things work out. Chelsea Green, she's got a lot to add to that women's division. She's excellent. Samoa Joe, guy should have been world champion 3 times over in WWE. Never got the opportunity to do so. They didn't even want to hire this guy the first time because he was fat. Which is the reason why Keith Lee is not on television. Samoa Joe, Mickie James. These are names that I fully expect to go to AEW. Samoa Joe, absolutely. I mean, where the fuck's he going? Impact? Yeah, right. Give me a break. I could see Billie Kay going to Impact. I could see Billie Kay and Peyton Royce going to Impact just to be a tag team again. Or maybe in AEW. I don't know. But Mickie James, Chelsea Green, and Samoa Joe, those are the 3 names that, if I'm Tony Khan, I am keeping my eye on. Thea Trinidad as well. You get rid of that Alex Abrahantes from Lucha House Party. God forbid, man. The Lucha Brothers. You get rid of him and you put Thea Trinidad in there with Pentagon and Rey Fenix. Ed Andrade. Make them the new Death Triangle. Pac just kind of slowly drifts away on his own because I always see Pac as a solo act, a loner. Now we're in business. Now we are in business. But yes, WWE's mentality is, here we go. How soon before AEW starts creeping up to Monday Night Raw? You do know that this is only good, folks. This is only good for Raw. How is it good for Raw, JD? Because if AEW can fire a light or light a fire under Monday Night Raw's fucking asshole, and Monday Night Raw may start to get better. Maybe we might see some changes in WWE. Maybe the draft happens. Maybe a shakeup. Maybe they get rid of all that shit and just merge the rosters together so that the shows have more importance and there's more people on the shows to make these shows feel different. Maybe they start pushing a Ricochet and a Keith Lee and an Angel Garza and all these guys that just sit in the back and do nothing every single week. Maybe. Maybe it will light a fire under their asshole so much that the shows somehow get better. This is only a good thing. I hope AEW goes from 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. We got Blood and Guts coming up on May 5th. You don't think that's going to generate a rating as close to Monday Night Raw than they've ever done before? That's a good thing. It is a great thing. Things changed greatly. And the mentality towards AEW is now very different. How different is Vince McMahon feeling after allowing Chris Jericho on the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast on the WWE Network, where he openly talked about the AEW Championship and signing with AEW and AEW as a brand, mentioning Sammy Guevara and the Inner Circle, right? How does Vince McMahon look at that now as far as promotional material? Hope that $1 billion was worth it, big man Vince, huh? Since McMahon having second thoughts on that now? Probably not. Maybe not. Who knows? I doubt any audience came over from that podcast anyway. All the people that were AEW fans watched that show anyway. And everybody that was a WWE fan watched that show anyway. I think those WWE fans might have made a judgment call anyway on AEW before that show even aired, the Jericho podcast with Stone Cold. They've already probably ingrained it in their minds. I don't like this. I'm not going to watch it, but I like Chris Jericho, and I want to hear him talk about his WWE run. I doubt that had any effect on the 1.2 million rating that AEW drew on Wednesday night. I highly doubt it. So stop using that as an excuse. But yes, WWE's mentality has changed about the ratings for AEW. 1.2 and a 1.1. They ranked number 2 on cable. Last week did a 1.219, and this week did a 1.104. Very consistent, very good. They're still above that million. That's where they need to be. And that is the first in recent memory, I believe, back-to-back, if I'm not mistaken. It might have happened once before, but this might have been the first time since then that they did back-to-back million ratings. I think week 1 and week 2, when they first debuted on TNT, did back-to-back. I think it's the first time since then that they did it. In the 18 to 49 demographic, the show did a 0.37. That is down from a 0.44. AEW ranked number 2 on the cable top 150. And the breakdown of the 18 to 49, we got 0.37. Female viewers was a 0.25. That was the 18 to 49 female demographic. And the male viewers, 18 to 49, 0.50. So same as SmackDown. WWE should be very concerned, man. WWE is very concerned. AEW saw Darby Allin defeat Jungle Boy in a very good main event for the TNT Championship. So for all the people saying that AEW is not creating new stars, Jungle Boy and Darby Allin were in the main event for their Intercontinental Championship to be the face of TNT. 2 guys that size in the main event. If this was Monday Night Raw, they wouldn't even be on the show. They'd probably be banished to 205 Live. Excellent match. Tay Conti. She challenged Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's Championship. Very good match as well. So they had a double championship co-headlining show. Awesome stuff there. Tay Conti is really coming into her own. The thought of her getting better and better is very scary because she's becoming quite good. And if they can add another solid name to that women's division, come next year this time, and we may be looking at a completely different I would say, I don't want to say overproduced. I would say a complete transformation of the AEW women's division. Awesome. Awesome thing to see. Shida is great. She's got Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, coming up at Double or Nothing. I got news on Double or Nothing and what the supposed match card is going to be on Wednesday's AEW live stream. Adam Hangman Page defeated Ricky Starks in a very so-so match. Hard-hitting, but the two did not work well together. Christian Cage, Adam Page, Christian Cage, Brian Cage, Nicolas Cage, Christian Cage defeated Powerhouse Will Hobbs. Hobbs beat him up all match until we got the finishing move by Christian Cage done. Boom. Unpretty at 1, 2, 3. He was beating him down all match was Hobbs, and then Christian fought back, and out of nowhere, after a slight, I guess, taunt of Christian, doing the peep show, looking around the crowd, he got caught with an unpretty. Jim Ross sat down with the Pinnacle in what was MJF's greatest promo to date. He actually put Chris Jericho to shame, so that was awesome. The Inner Circle was interviewed by Tony Schiavone, and Jericho cut a decent promo, but I'm not enjoying him as a baby face. I wish he was a baby face operating as a heel like Jericho usually does, but we're not getting that. But the Pinnacle really shined in that sit-down with Jim Ross. Him, MJF, and Wardlow. Wardlow had a great presence in that sit-down as well. Trent, he took an ass-kicking from Pentagon Jr., and then Billy Gunn versus QT Marshall. That got the Nightmare family and the Factory involved. Clearly, we're getting a feud between the current and former students of the Nightmare family, now broken off into what they are calling the Factory. It is what it is. So many fucking factions, so many groups, brand warfare, faction warfare in AEW. Sometimes it gets completely overwhelming, man. So that was AEW Dynamite. Monday Night Raw, their ratings dipped below at 2 after the Raw After Mania. Of course it would. The show sucked. It's only going to dip lower and lower. According to Showbuzz Daily, the episode drew a 1.907 million viewership on the USA Network. That is down from a 2.026 million viewership the show did a week ago. Now, the reason why last week was above a 2 was only because of the Raw After Mania. And that, for Raw After Mania standards, is pathetic. But the only reason why it was above it 2 is because of WrestleMania. Now we're back below it 2, and it's only going to get worse and go back to where it usually is at a 1.7 or 1.8, maybe lower. But the show sucks. The show absolutely deserved lower than a 1.9. It really did. It was more like a 1.5 show. It wasn't as bad. Listen, it was just as bad as the week prior, but holy shit. That Raw After Mania was god-awful. This was no better. The 18 to 49 demo saw Hour 1 at a 0.63. Hour 2 did a 0.63. And Hour 3 did a 0.57. Hour 1 did a 2.017 million viewership. And then Hour 2 did a 1.981, with Hour 3 doing a 1.724. Monday Night Raw saw Matt Riddle defeat Randy Orton clean. Everybody was going crazy over Matt Riddle beating Randy Orton. Who gives a shit when WWE starts consistently to book guys like Matt Riddle the right way and give him some momentum and consistency? Then I'll really say, you know what? All right, here we go. WWE's going all in on Matt Riddle. But what did they do to Keith Lee? They stifled Keith Lee, so why would I ever get on board and trust them with Matt Riddle beating Randy Orton? Keith Lee did the same fucking thing, and where is Keith Lee now? It's not on television. So please, calm your fucking dick and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. This match was awful. Charlotte Flair, it almost seems like she doesn't want to be there. So we don't know what's going on with Charlotte Flair. I got a reason why she's written off television. We'll talk about that in a second. Apparently, Asuka beats Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair goes all wild on the referees, and she gets suspended and fined $100,000. Goodbye. Maybe she needs a nice update to the firmware, and she's going back to the factory, man. Maybe there was a problem in the shipping department. I don't know. Drew McIntyre wanted answers from MVP. So we got Drew McIntyre, the number 1 contender, against Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania Backlash. The Viking Raiders versus Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin again. I'll pretend like this match did not happen this week, Bruce, because we saw it last week. Kofi Kingston versus Elias. Kofi Kingston loses to Elias with an elbow drop. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, they lost to Lana and Naomi. And Damian Priest, yes, Shayna Baszler is buried. And Damian Priest beats The Miz. This show fucking sucks. There's nothing about this show that is redeeming at all. Charlotte Flair, why was she written off television? It was first reported by Talk Sports' Alex McCarthy on Tuesday and later confirmed by Dave Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer Radio this week that the real reason behind Flair being suspended is due to her taking time off from the company to have dental surgery. So let me get this straight. WWE, they take her off television for whatever reason, whether it was COVID-related or maybe there was a false pregnancy test. They bring her back to television. They have her cut this overly fucking produced and cringe, disingenuous promo talking about everybody in the women's division and why she wasn't on WrestleMania and why she's the best and why she's the opportunity. And then she has a match with Asuka because we all kind of figured that she was going to be in the Raw Women's title discussion, only to lose and then beat up the referees, get suspended, get fined, and then go get dental surgery. I don't understand why we brought her back so strong for her to go out again to go get elective surgery. How much more dental surgery does she need? I mean, every single week, her teeth look more ridiculous and more ridiculous. I mean, if you want to go get surgery, but do it on your own time where you don't need to take time off of television. That's going to create logic gaps in the story. That's going to look ridiculous after everything that they've already done for you on your way back. I don't know one talent in the company that is given more time off anytime she wants than Charlotte Flair. And if you don't think that this woman's a priority, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. She's got to go get this done. She takes time off. She's got to go get that done. She's got to take time off. No matter what she's in the middle of doing, they will give her, without any hesitation, time off. Now, I'm not going to sit here and make fun of her or talk about her looks and this and that like Dave Meltzer did, because Dave Meltzer got blasted for it on social media. But I mean, is there any woman in the company that is given more preferential treatment than Charlotte Flair? It is sickening. And if you think it stops with dental surgery because she's got to go get her veneers fixed, you're an idiot. It goes much deeper than just veneers. It's booking, who she goes over, who she buries, who she works with, how many more titles she wins. Charlotte Flair is absolutely one of the worst aspects of any part of WWE television. She is awful. She brings no interest to anything she's in. None. Go get your dental surgery, because Becky's coming back. Sasha's already at the top of her game at 28 years old. Bayley has completely transformed herself into one of the best heels in the entire company. As far as I'm concerned, Charlotte Flair now sits 4th place as far as the 4 horsewomen go. Overrated is Charlotte Flair. Give me a break. Charlotte, was she left off of WrestleMania because of Andrade? Hugo Savinovich, he spoke to Wrestling Inc. and pointed out that Flair was one of the few stars available for the event, speculating that her absence could have been an example for the rest of the roster. Hugo Savinovich allegedly said that WWE might have had a point to prove after Andrade's departure. He says this, and I quote, There's a lot of Charlotte ass kissing in this one, folks. So make sure you didn't eat anything before listening to this. If you're eating currently, put it down. I don't want you to vomit all over your phone or your keyboard or your tablet or wherever you're watching me. You may be driving right now. Don't pretty up that fucking steering wheel, man. Or don't unpretty up that steering wheel. I think a woman like this is a legend. She has a legendary name like Ric Flair, the legendary name of Ric Flair, and has become one of the best in the field. And she's taken out of WrestleMania with a cheap excuse of being pregnant. Now, listen. Charlotte Flair did not miss, I don't need Hugo Savinovich to tell you this. Charlotte Flair did not miss WrestleMania because she was pregnant. Charlotte Flair did not miss WrestleMania because of COVID. She was made an example of because of Andrade. I said this 3-4 weeks ago when I covered this story. I don't need Hugo Savinovich to tell me otherwise. She's not in WrestleMania, but the night after, she kicks everybody's ass, and they let her do a mini CM Punk pipe bomb, nowhere in the vicinity of a CM Punk pipe bomb. It was overproduced and very cringe. A mini CM Punk pipe bomb in the ring. You don't have her at WrestleMania. You don't have Brock. You don't have Dwayne. You don't have many things. You don't have Jeff Hardy. You don't have John Cena. You don't have a surprise. You don't have CM Punk. You have somebody already made on the roster ready to go. Somebody that is a diamond. Somebody that is a queen of wrestling. And you don't have her on the card, yet you bring her in the next night on Raw. How the heck do you explain that creative process? She's good for Raw, but maybe we'll send the message that because you favor your Latino fiance, maybe you would send the message to other people, hey, anybody steps out of line, we don't care if you're the Queen Charlotte or you are Andrade or whatever. We're going to take you off of the card. A lot of ass kissing, like I said, folks. Quite nauseating. In fact, I want to vomit up the non-existent lunch that I didn't have. Listen. I'm going to tell Hugo Savinovich, I'm going to tell everybody that watched WrestleMania and cried that Charlotte wasn't there or still wonders why Charlotte wasn't there. Charlotte wasn't there because even the Queen was made an example out of, okay? It's that, or the fact that Charlotte Flair just refused to sit out, or refused to work WrestleMania, rather, opted to sit out because she was putting her foot down on WWE management for firing Andrade, firing her fiance. Could be one or the other. She didn't miss WrestleMania because of COVID. She didn't miss WrestleMania because of a false pregnancy test. It was either WWE making an example out of her, which I find hard to believe. They brought her back the next night, had her cut that promo, and now she's out because of elective dental surgery in the middle of a storyline for the Raw Women's Championship. WWE punishing Charlotte? Give me a break, folks. It's possible. It's one of the only other reasons that I could think of, but I don't really think that's the reason. I think that she opted to sit out and put her foot down. And WWE had to swallow the pill because why would they want to upset their queen? You know. But I don't need Hugo Savinovich to tell me that. And listen, for all the geeks out there, well, why wasn't Charlotte Flair on WrestleMania, man? Doesn't matter if Charlotte was there or not. In fact, the show was better without her. Would the show be better with her on it? No. It would not have been. Then you would have gotten Rhea Ripley, Asuka, and Charlotte. Or Asuka and Charlotte. Or Asuka and Ripley. If Asuka can't bring Ripley to a decent match, then Charlotte is not going to. This current Charlotte. Last year they had a good match, but the wrong outcome. Charlotte, there or not there, wouldn't have made a difference for night 2, folks. It may have actually been worse. Give me a break. WWE dodged a bullet by leaving Charlotte off of WrestleMania. WWE's plan for MACE T-Bar following the unmasking of both on Raw. Wrestling Observer Radio and Dave Meltzer brought up the fact that MACE T-Bar's time on Raw is now, they didn't lose their match, but instead they were shown leaving with their hands held high via a DQ victory at the end of their time on Raw this week. This means that their storyline will continue, and this is the new top program on Monday nights. Oh, joy. Oh, joy. Meltzer says, and I quote, they're actually trying to do something with MACE T-Bar. They put them in there with McIntyre and Strowman. They got DQ'd. Actually, McIntyre got DQ'd, but they had the DQ finish other than pinning both of them. So they didn't get pinned. They didn't pin McIntyre and Strowman, so they had a DQ finish. So that tells you that they're going to keep that thing going, and they're positioning them, I guess McIntyre and Strowman are the top 2 babyfaces on the brand. Braun Strowman's the top babyface on the brand, folks. How exciting, man. How exciting for Braun Strowman to be at the top. Whee! Oh, man, the Strowman Express is running wild on Monday night. I can't wait. So they're positioning them high on the card. MACE T-Bar were both unmasked during this match. It seemed like the perfect opportunity to do away with the retribution masks and the gimmick and actually interview the real human beings behind the masks. MACE T-Bar. Now, hopefully with the masks being removed on Monday, now we go and change their name. Dominic Dijakovic and Dio Madden, the men under the masks. Why are they still going to be associated with those names when those were names associated with a group that failed? Why are they going to be associated with those names when those names were the men in the masks? They're not in the masks anymore. So now the next obvious thing, Bruce, is to change their names. Dijakovic. I'll even give Vince the okay to shave his fucking first name off. Dijakovic and Dio Madden. There you go. I like it. That's the next step. Listen to me, please. MACE and T-Bar are going nowhere with those names. They weren't going anywhere then, and now that they got the masks off, they're not going anywhere with those names without the masks either. Move on, start new. Mia Yim already moved over to SmackDown. Who knows if she's going to be used? Maybe we'll see her this week. Maybe we'll see her next week. Who knows? And Shane Thorne got moved over to SmackDown. Will he be used? Probably not. Titus needed another fucking sous chef in the kitchen. I don't know. Reason why WWE nixed a top match on Raw. It was supposed to be Randy Orton and Braun Strowman. We may actually have dodged a bullet here, folks. PW Insider is reporting that when production meetings started on Monday afternoon, the Strowman vs. Orton match was changed last minute without any explanation. Well, I'm not surprised. Everything in WWE is changed without any explanation. Storylines happen on TV. Storylines end on TV without any explanation, man. These are the people that they have running the company. Bruce, no explanation. Pritchard. Come on. Strowman was written into the McIntyre storyline, and it was a call made by Vince McMahon. You want to know why? Listen. You want to know why this match was changed? And I'm sure I'm going to reiterate this on Monday night, because I'm sure this is not the end of it. We got MACE T-Bar feuding with McIntyre. Strowman's now involved. You want to know why Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman were a tag team instead of Braun Strowman versus Randy Orton? Because Drew McIntyre is going to win the WWE Championship at WrestleMania Backlash. He's going to win the WWE title at Backlash from Bobby Lashley. And the first opponent is going to be Braun Strowman. So a WrestleMania match that was rumored months ago for Braun Strowman. Could have been Braun Strowman versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania for the WWE title. That was a rumor back in the day. We may be getting that at some point this summer, which, if that is the top program on Monday night, Jesus fucking Christ, man, I'm going to go right out and buy me some melatonin in preparation for Monday Night Raw, man. I'll get some decent fucking sleep during the show. I might not even need melatonin for the fucking Braun Strowman Drew McIntyre program, and that itself would put me to sleep. Either that, or Drew McIntyre fails against Bobby Lashley retains, and Braun Strowman gets his shot at Bobby Lashley because he's going to be feuding with the Hurt Business and Mace and T-Bar if they're associated with the Hurt Business. I don't know. So we may get Drew McIntyre versus Strowman or Bobby Lashley versus Braun Strowman. Either way, Monday Night Raw isn't looking too exciting at the top, folks. That's my take there. That's the reason why it was changed. That's where they're going. It might not have an explanation now, but that explanation will be seen a lot clearer in the weeks to come. Watch. That's what's going on there. Randy Orton. He may have suffered an injury during his match on Monday Night Raw with Matt Riddle. So it was supposed to be Strowman and Orton. And then it got changed to Orton and Riddle. Brian Alvarez noted on the Wrestling Observer Live this week that he suffered some sort of shoulder injury during the match. He says, and I quote, "I don't know the extent of what happened, but Randy Orton hurt his shoulder. He was fighting out of the corner, and Riddle went to give him an exploder, and Randy, of course, didn't take an exploder. He blocked it, pulled back, and did this very dramatic punch, and he punched him, and then from that point forward, he could no longer use his right arm. He was throwing forearms with his left arm, which looked horrible. They still did manage to do a top rope superplex. It was like that one day when he punched the mat and his shoulder went out," end quote. Riddle obviously went over in the match. Meltzer pointed out that, in fact, it was a middle rope suplex, not a top rope spot, correcting Brian Alvarez. Orton did continue through the match, but it's unknown whether he is injured or not, serious or not. I don't know. I didn't see it live when I was watching the match. Maybe he is hurt. Maybe he's not hurt, but I heard Randy Orton's going on a mini sabbatical anyway after beating Bray Wyatt. There really isn't much for Randy Orton to do on Monday night. They legitimately have no plans for Randy Orton on Monday night. Nobody to feud with on Monday night. He's beating everybody. So if he stays on Raw, he may be feuding with Matt Riddle for now. Hopefully Riddle gets the rub. Maybe Riddle goes on and becomes a top contender for the WWE title. But I heard that he was going away. And if he stays, the question remains, who is he going to feud with? So Randy Orton may be best or better off leaving the show and going away for a little bit. But, I mean, Monday Night Raw is operating with a slim roster now. Anyway, according to some sources, they had a COVID outbreak or something recently after WrestleMania. And Tom Phillips was one of those names. And some people in the back, they were operating with a short staff. That's why we've seen rematches like we've seen with the Viking Raiders, Cedric and Shelton. Matches were changed. I don't know how true or legit that is, but, I mean, without Randy Orton, I mean, I don't know how much worse the show could get. The show is at the bottom of the fucking barrel, worst show of all time level right now with Randy Orton on the show. So with Orton not there, I doubt you will feel any difference whatsoever. But Randy Orton is so valuable that I don't want him to be hurt because anything he's a part of is just a sliver of a good segment on Monday night. And that's all that we usually get. A Randy Orton segment or a promo that's good, and the rest is 2 hours and 58 minutes of shit. So hopefully he's okay. Like I said, WWE had to book another Raw around a COVID-19 outbreak. Many fans picked up on how WWE booked this week's show similar to last week's show. On The Observer, Brian Alvarez stated that he didn't know whether WWE had another COVID outbreak, but there were some matches on Raw as they were last week, pretty much the same identical matches that we seen, like I mentioned. Meltzer immediately followed up with, well, we did, and I mean, that was part of it. I don't know who it was, but they won't tell you. So that's that. So we'll never know who has COVID. You know, AJ Styles and Omos haven't been on the show, right? Other than that, I really can't think of anybody. Jeff Hardy's not on the show. Who else? Keith Lee's been missing for fucking months. So who exactly was missing from this show that really kind of offset Monday Night Raw? How much different would it have been with those names on the show? I don't think this really matters at all. WWE has booked the same show for years. Rematches after rematches after rematches, week after week after week with no COVID outbreak. Stop giving these people excuses. Stop. You have every ounce of power to make change, and you refuse to change? You refuse to change the fucking show. Stop with the excuses. COVID is not an issue anymore. Everybody getting vaccinated and tested. Give me a break. It's the same fucking show every week without this lame excuse. I mentioned Keith Lee, and we'll end with this. Keith Lee tweeted, says he will fight like no other to return to WWE. Are you sure that's a good idea, bro? You want to fight like no other to return to the worst show on television? Keith Lee, everybody had high hopes for him. I don't need to tell you that. He was planned to win the United States title at Fastlane, not Matt Riddle. Then he was taken off television. We haven't heard a peep about Keith Lee on Monday Night Raw in a very long time. Very long time. He misses the fans. The fans miss him. Keith Lee tweeted out a message for everybody. He expressed how much he misses the fans and he appreciates the positive sentiments that are coming his way. Keith Lee then said he will fight like no other to return. I miss you guys as well, and all the others that express the sentiment, whether in DMs, tweets, comments. I miss you all, but do not fret. I will fight like no other to return, and when I do, we've got a lot of ground to cover. Keith Lee, telling you right now, I don't give a shit where he comes back. I don't. Give him to SmackDown. Trade somebody to Raw in replace of Keith Lee. Have Keith Lee on SmackDown. Book Keith Lee at the end of the year when Roman gets through the Cesaros and maybe the Edges again and maybe a Big E. Book Keith Lee on SmackDown. Put him in a program with Roman Reigns at the end of the year. Give this guy some momentum. Rebuild him up all over again. Pretend like Monday Night Raw never happened. Put him on SmackDown. Have him go up against Roman Reigns, potentially being the one to beat Roman Reigns, playing off their Survivor Series. I don't know where Roman was. SmackDown maybe, Team SmackDown and Team NXT when they had that Raw vs. SmackDown vs. NXT Survivor Series. Roman and Keith Lee were the final two. People went crazy for it. People were all over that. Roman gave props to Keith Lee, and Keith Lee was a fucking star born in that moment. That's what you need to play off of. Imagine Paul Heyman booking Keith Lee into a program with Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Keith Lee coming back, going to SmackDown, being traded from Raw to SmackDown for somebody, feuding with Roman Reigns towards the end of the year after he's been properly reintroduced and built up for the Universal Championship, being the one to take down Roman Reigns. I don't know about you guys, man, but I could get behind that. Paul Heyman and Keith Lee working together to build him, rebuild him anew. That I could get behind. Let me know what you guys think about that. I am getting out of here. Thank you so very much for all that you guys do. I appreciate it, y'all. Make sure you guys follow me on social media, man, at JD from NY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Let's try. Your goal is 1,250 likes. That's the goal on today's episode 373. Make sure you guys go support via Patreon, patreon.com/JD from NY206. Go check out all the other videos that you might have missed, all the live streams on the channel. Right now, links are down below. Check out my sponsors, Tennis Clash, Advanced.gg. Go to their website, Advanced.gg. Use scripts at checkout for 10% off. Bonfire.com is the exclusive home of Off the Script. Go and get your t-shirts. And make sure you guys, again, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for all notifications. I will see you back on Monday with a brand new week of WWE content, starting with the Raw post-show and the podcast Monday night. Until then, guys, again, hit that thumbs up, and I will see you all on Monday with a brand new week of content. See you guys later.